Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of A Safe Space for Men. I'm your host as usual. And before we get started, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, and download the podcast. Please, I appreciate it. What's happening, y'all? It has been far too long. First, I want to apologize for I just kind of like disappeared and just dropped off like without notice. Uh, I mean, I was communicating a little bit on the page, but I don't even want to say like necessarily like life was lifing, but in a sense, life was whooping me. I had so much, not necessarily I was dealing with this a lot. I was working on a lot. I was going through um, a lot of things I had to go through to get me to the space I am today, and nothing too crazy. It just was like a lot of life stuff, just regular life stuff, man. And I kept telling myself like up to a point like I wanted to record, and then it just became something I just didn't do. And a lot of people was reaching out, Ron, what's going on with the pod, da 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 da. And I'm just like, yo, man, by that time I really didn't have the time, um, just for a multitude of things, and just again working on like life balance and just finding the time, honestly, finding the time, finding the inspiration, I mean, because this I won't even say inspiration because this is something that I really love doing. I really love sitting down and like just sharing my experiences and all the things that I go through, and trying to give advice, or maybe there's a situation that I'm going through that can help one person out there or whatever. But yeah, it's it's been a wild ride, man, and I'm thankful to be back here with y'all today, man. Um, and I don't know, I feel like in the time that I was gone, I was able to situate a lot of the bullshit in my life, a lot of the things that was going on in my life. Something I'm trying to stop doing. I'm really going to make an effort to stop cussing because I noticed. We'll get to it, but I noticed like some of the people that I'm starting to hang around now, like again, like the positive energy. I was people like they don't curse and stuff like that. And I mean, it's one having respect for them, but two, it's just like I can deliver my message. I think without even though like my favorite word is motherfucker, but but yeah, I haven't dropped anything. I had to go back and look. I haven't dropped anything since April 9th. I did record after that. I have a really dope episode that I'm going to put out there. Um, where I sat down with a good friend of mine, Tevin, and just talked about like his experiences, fatherhood, and now he has his kids full time, and it kind of just he just lays out like what he went through, what he's going through, and what he had to go through to get his babies, and what that transition was like. So I'm looking forward to dropping that. I think that's going to be like a really informative episode for a lot of people in general, not just men, just people in general that um, are uncertain about how to go about getting their kids, and or they don't think that they can do it. You know what I mean? Think that they can't handle the life change and things like that. And I think he did a really good job of just uh, like just being transparent in everything that he went through. So I don't want to give y'all too much, but yeah, and it just so happened. So actually been off work for I think 7 or 8 days. Of technically a vacation, but it was an in-house vacation. Like I was just home. I didn't go anywhere. I kind of just was relaxing with the kids and spending time with them, and just getting stuff together in my house, cleaning up, organizing, straightening up. And I kept telling myself every day, I'm like, I'm gonna record. And I go back to work today. So I had finished basically I outlined everything I want to talk about like late last night. I was like, I'm gonna get up this morning and record. So I set my alarm for 7:45. I got up, got my shower. Um, didn't really eat much. Got my little granola bar here, my protein bar, and a bottle of water, which is something else I changed up my diet over the last couple weeks, which I may get into. But yeah, I'm going to record it. The kids are asleep. I'm not waking them up for another couple hours. I don't got to be to work until 1:30. And yeah, I'm like, I got to talk to my people, man, because I've been on hiatus for like 3.5 months. And it's, I don't know. I think it was needed. Like, I really do. Not necessarily like because the podcast was limited, but it was just like I had to like focus my attention on other things. And and it also like it gives me time to like deal with the things that I was dealing with because it's a lot of times I could get on here and like I could discuss whatever's going on or anything like that, and I may feel totally different about it 2 weeks later, or anything like that. So it allowed me to like really be in whatever I was going through and whatever was happening in life, good or bad, and just get to it. Um, First thing I want to do talk about is just say rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, uh, and Malcolm Jamal Warner. We've been having like crazy deaths over the last couple weeks. Also Osborne. But I want to focus on Hulk Hogan. Obviously, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Cosby Show, um, a pigment of the black community. Like you know what I mean. Like he was you know he, a great actor. And I mean, we all grew up on the Cosby Show. We all watched it. I caught the reruns because when I was coming up, it was already off. But I caught the reruns. But it was a great show. But Hulk Hogan was a big part of my childhood because as y'all know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, like a huge wrestling fan. And I mean, obviously, Hulk Hogan was probably the first wrestler that we all were introduced to. Uh, I can't say he was ever. I don't know if he was ever my favorite wrestler. It was always like Bret Hart, but Hulk Hogan was like we all got in trouble for like ripping our shirts off and just getting in trouble for play fighting in the bedroom, breaking beds and stuff like that. And yeah, it was for me. I found I was in the gym when I found out. Like I saw it pop on my phone, and sometimes you think like, oh, this is a joke and like it's a prank, because people are always doing weird stuff like that, and it wasn't. And I don't know. Me, I mean, of course, me, I just felt like really sad because again, it's like part of my childhood. Anything like that is for me. And um, but the one thing that was triggering for me online was, I hate how like there's a time and place for certain things, but everyone always wants to be like politically correct, and like sometimes it's really no need for that. Um, Hulk Hogan got caught a couple years ago. I think like 10 years back. Someone like recorded him without his knowledge, and he dropped some m bombs and he said some racist remarks or whatever. And I'm no way am I condoning it or anything like that. But it's like I remember I had like posted it on my Facebook, and then people are like DMing me, and if somebody even dropped something on the post, I had to delete it, like delete what they put on the post because it's just like it's really ignorant. Like, yeah, however you feel is how you feel, but don't bring your feelings into my space. Like this is my area, this is my space. Don't come to my post, to my podcast, to my house, like trying to get me to believe in what you believe. Like if you're upset and you're angry and you don't want to rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. That's your preference, and I respect it. But this is my space, and I just think people always want you to agree with whatever they believe in, and I think it's really ignorant. It takes me back to the election where, like, again, like it was just like it was just two sides. It was like Trump or Kamala, and if you went against one or the other, people were just like losing their fucking mind, and it's like, yo, like it's really not that deep. I was a fan. We all were kids once, you know what I'm saying, when everything was so innocent and we didn't have to worry about if a person was like that wasn't something that we was concerned with or what they were like in their private life and all that. And I just think like honestly, frankly, I could care less about any of that racist stuff. Like if he is or he isn't, that's between him and God. Um, Obviously, I don't condone that. I've seen some videos where he turned his life over to God and in Jesus Christ, and he he became. I think he got baptized and all that, and like, but that's his business. Like that was he made good. He made peace with himself and with God in his end the best way he could. And it's really I think we all, myself included, we all got to do a better job of like not judging everybody because everything doesn't really need that. When someone dies, it's just like yo, they died. You know what I mean? It's kind of back to like when OJ died and Stephen A was like, oh, the BET word should have never put him on. Like OJ is, in my opinion, one of the top five greatest running backs to ever live. That's my opinion, and I stand on it. You know what I'm saying? And do I agree with the things that he did? In his after football life, where he allegedly he beat the charges, but he allegedly killed his ex wife, and the things where he did where he had to go to jail because he took back the things that belonged to him and all that. Like that's not for me. Like I like the athlete. I believe the athlete was a great fucking athlete, and there's a way to separate the two. And I just feel like Hogan, he represented like a part of my childhood that was precious to me. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of found myself having to like compose myself because people were like again doing the whole indirect thing. It was, man, it was. That's something I've gotten really good at. Because even when our city, so in our city, the union that provides like sanitation and a multitude of other things, the water department, all that stuff to our city, they went on strike, and a lot of us, myself included, like I felt like the mayor was on bullshit. That was my opinion. And then you see like people indirectly using the coon thing again, like oh, and it's people that don't even like, you know what I mean? Like one thing I hate, and I don't want to get in. I might get in trouble for saying it, but I hate when people that aren't part of the culture, and by culture I mean black, try to be part of the culture. Like I feel like uh, it's good to like support and stuff like that, but like when you're like treading the line of like you're trying to pretend like you're black and you're not. I can't pretend like I'm Hispanic because I'm not. I can't pretend like I'm Chinese because I'm Asian because I'm not. And those people are the people that like really like I'm like yo just shut the fuck up. And but you see this stuff and you know what, just ignore it because honestly at the end of the day no one's ever going to say anything directly to me. And that's not being arrogant. That's just like that's just a fact. People, you know what? People get behind these keyboards and they hide behind them and they feel like I guess I don't know like some type of instant gratification. Like you know what I mean? I'm going to indirectly say something about somebody, but a lot of times I know like you're talking to me. Like I know it, um, but I'm not going to say anything. I've learned to not say anything more. Just the lessons I've learned over the last year where I've gotten into things with people whether it be at the election or anything like that. Just you know what, I'm going to stay in my space, and unless you come my way with any of that nonsense, that's when I'll address it. But yeah, I feel like nobody says anything when you post rest in peace for your cousin who just got murdered, but we all know he murdered three or four tax-paying citizens. Like no one's jumping on the post like, "Oh, he's was a terrible." No, people are like, "I'm sorry for your loss," because we're genuinely sorry for your loss. We don't necessarily care about the person. We're sorry for your loss. And I know that's maybe that kind of might be apples and oranges because that's like somebody that's directly related to a person, and Hogan is not related to me. But what I'm saying is, like, however, whatever people choose to mourn about or be upset about, like, let them. Just let them. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything for your day. It doesn't. Uh, it's not affecting your day. Like me posting rest in peace of Hogan shouldn't affect your day. Um, so what's been going on with me, man? First of all, fuck Progressive. I had my car totaled, well, totaled out. Obviously, I have it back now. So it got sideswiped, and then like I did the whole get it towed and took it to get it fixed. It was a pretty bad sideswipe. Well, it was like going across from like the fender all the way to the second passenger door, the rear passenger door, and like there was a little dent and everything. And they come out and they do the estimate, and they're like, "Oh, the the estimate for the repairs is more than the value of the car." I don't know what the fuck this means. But like, oh, but we got to total it out. I'm like, what? Like, so I'm thinking like, I can't use my card. To me, total out me. I'm thinking like, yo, I don't because I've never went through this. They're like, no, you can keep it. You can buy it back from us. Da da da. We'll give you X amount of dollars. If you give it to us, we'll give you more money. Da 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 da. So like, full disclosure, my car has a brand new engine in it from 2 years ago when like that stuff happened on 95, which I don't need to get into, but so I want to keep my car because regardless of the mileage, there's only like maybe like 12,000 miles on this engine. So I'm fighting back and forth with them for about a week, and then finally we agree, so they're gonna pay me out or whatever. So I'm like waiting for my like car, and they call me like, oh, the car was actually taken to the auction lot. What the fuck? I didn't approve that, so I'm fighting with them. End up fighting with them for like 3 days to get them to extend the rental, pay for the rental because I didn't get my car back. I was supposed to get back on a Friday. I got it back on a Tuesday. So I ended up getting reimbursed for all that stuff. Maybe like 2 weeks later, because I talked to the guy. So the guy I was dealing with, he was like really ignorant. I put a complaint in on him. Then I got a supervisor, and she was cool up until the point where it was time to pay for the rental. And they're like, "Oh, well, we normally don't do this." Well, normally people get their car back on time. So what the fuck? So I got my car back, and I got in touch with a supervisor, like over the supervisor, 2 weeks later, and he was like, he'd apologize. He's like, "Yo, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they should have handled this way better. Like, obviously, because I didn't sign anything. Oh, there's the mailman. I didn't sign anything to allow you guys to take my car, and So long story short, I ended up getting my car back. Shout out to Dre, my brother. So we went and got two doors and a fender from the junkyard, put brand new doors and everything on. I just sent everything out for that. Hopefully, I should have my title back in a couple of days, but my car is registered up and running. And I was able to buy another car. So now I have two cars. So God is good. A lot of times, and it's the thing about change. I struggle with change a lot, and it's gonna sound really like corny, but when I went to get my car, my first car, like re-registered and all that, they made me change my license plate. Now, most of y'all know, anybody that knows me know I've had this license plate since my first car. So like, this is the only license plate I ever had, and it was a free exchange. They're like, oh no, you can keep the plate. We're gonna just give you a new plate because they're phasing out the old Pennsylvania tags that begin like with an H. There's like a couple letters H N L, some other stuff. Look it up. And they gave me the new tags are actually nice. But I was just like, I'm like, no, I want to keep my tag. You know what I mean? I struggle with change. I don't like change. But I'm getting really better at something. Now I'm just in the place where I'm just like accepting change. Like if it's a good change too, just because that doesn't change my life, change my day to day. It was more like it's mine. Like I don't want to. But yeah, fuck progressive. I'm actively looking for a new insurance company. I've been with them for like 12 years. That's another thing. About staying too long. Like I've been with them way too long. It's kind of like those jobs you stay at just because you're comfortable, and it's like, no, I got it. They're not. They just they're shitty, man, and I don't like how they treated me. I don't. Like, I feel like they could have just fixed my car, kept it moving, but I'm kind of glad they didn't because now I have two cars, and my insurance rate went down when I added a second car in. I don't know why, but it did. Um, I watched and I mean by now everyone should have watched. I watched the show Forever on Netflix. Oh my god, Forever might be maybe one of the best love stories I've ever seen. Maybe one of the best love stories I've seen since The Notebook. And I think anybody that's in my age bracket, it just felt it felt so real. It really felt like I was in it. It felt like me in high school, and it just really where like a place where it was like safe and peaceful, and you could be vulnerable and just like love on somebody at that young age. It really felt innocent. And I'm looking. I can't wait till they drop season two. Shout out to Wood Harris. I think Wood Harris has like solidified himself as one of the best TV dads. Like he's up there. He's like Uncle Phil level. Like the way he handled his son in that show was really outstanding. Uh, last time we spoke, hold up, let me drink some water. Last time we spoke, we was talking about how I was struggling with boundaries and my lack thereof, and how it was causing all this conflict in my life. Well, I'm done with all that now. Everything is, knock on wood, everything is, this is, I have so much peace in my life right now. Like, really. Um, there's no active beef with Jordan's mom, Emma's mom, like everything, like, even if something goes on with her, she picks the phone up, we talk it out. The only thing I could say, every now and again I'll get a smart remark from Jordan's mom, but I just pay it no mind. Like, um, I'm just in a space where like everything's just going better. I'm so leveled. I don't think my mental health has ever been in a better like place. I feel leveled. I feel grounded. Like just better than I've ever felt, man. And honestly, I owe that all to therapy. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like therapy is probably like the single, outside of being a dad, like the single greatest thing I've ever done for myself. You know what I mean? I guess yeah, that's this. Yeah, not even outside of being. That's the single greatest thing I ever did was commit to therapy and like really do the work because, um, like it really is. It's work every day, every hour, every week. Like you really gotta, figure out what it is you gotta work on, what you gotta do to change your environment, and why these things are happening, and why, like what I mean? Because it's always easy to just blame everybody else. Oh, like I got a crazy baby mom. Oh, no, but what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? What can I do to prevent that? What can I do to create more peace and maintain that peace in my life? And um, that's what I've been doing, man. I really have. Like, I even like I said, even with like the smart comments, like sometimes I'll get her to like, especially like when Emma's here, I'll get her like, hey, can you come get the kids so I can run to the gym or whatever? And she'll say something smart like, oh, you're going to see some bitches or whatever. But I just ignore it. Like, I know I'm not going to do that. Like, and like, in your heart, like, first of all, I have a, regardless of what me and you may go through, I have enough respect for you to not call you to watch my children so that I can go see another woman. I just would do that in my free time. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, therapy's been going great. Right now, I'm actually on a break, and I'll probably start seeing her again. Maybe probably the end of August. but everything is going so well, and I don't want to be one of those people. I'm not going to wood again. I don't want to be one of those people that like, oh, I'm finished with therapy because I'm not going. I don't think you're ever really finished with it. But she was hinting at that. Judy, like we were talking, and she was just like our conversations were getting shorter and shorter, and she was just telling me she was like, yo, it. Like I'm not even gonna lie, on like a regular basis, it seems like when we talk, you really like we're just going over stuff, and making sure you're still committed and doing things you're supposed to do, but you're not really. And she gives me things to work on still, but she's like, honestly, you don't have like the problems you had when we first started, you just don't have them anymore. And and again, like also with that, I think she I don't think she wanted to say it, but I could tell she felt like she probably felt like I was done with her, like the work was done. Um, and I feel like this part of therapy is done. I feel like there's levels to it. I feel like there's that I can get even better. There's other things I can do because your life is changing every week, every day. I mean, I'm gonna get a girlfriend. I'm gonna end up with a wife. Like, there's gonna be other things that go on. My parents are gonna die. Like, there are things that are gonna happen. There are gonna be things that I'm not expecting to happen that are gonna happen, and I'm gonna need that outlet. You know what I mean? Outside of my loved ones and significant other things like that. But yeah, I really everything they needed improvement. I feel like I really I did it. Like my mental health is just I can't say enough is in a really strong place, and something that actually has like also helped with that. I started running, so I've been running now for about I was running in the gym, which is okay, but I've been running outside for I want to say about 2 weeks now, maybe, and it's been like refreshing. Like you when you're running, and sometimes I put a podcast on or I put music on, and you can just like really just you can just like lock in, you focus on your breathing, and you just run. And I normally run a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. That's what I've been doing. Uh, and it's been great, man. Like what really had me like ready to record. So I realized a few days ago while I was running, I needed to record. I was listening to my friend Docinco. I was listening to his podcast. Like I went out there to run and I just put his on because he had just started back recording. I hadn't listened. Full disclosure, I haven't listened to nobody's podcast all summer. I haven't listened to a podcast probably since like May. Just because I kind of been out the podcast space. I really have been. But the good thing now, I have so much content to get caught up in and listen to. I have been watching Ants because that's his is a it comes out every Thursday, so I normally try to tap in while I'm at work. I was actually on his podcast recently. But yeah, I was listening to his podcast and he was just talking about like procrastination and people gatekeeping. And he was also talking about how we all have this time to share our talents with the world, and most of us do nothing. And it really hit home for me, and I was like, oh shit, like I have this podcast, I have this space where I can share information and talk to people and help somebody out and introduce other people to the world and whatever it is that they have or product or anything like that. Like I have a space where I can make a difference and I could do something. And also like procrastinating, like I just keep saying, oh yeah, I'm recording, and then I don't, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this, whatever, and I don't. Like, and we're not getting any younger. I'm 39. I just turned 39. I just had a birthday in June 24th. So yeah, as I approach 40, like I really want to be just to be the year of like really locking in and being consistent. And I'm just glad I added running to it. Um, the reason I actually started running is because my guy Dosigo, he started a run club, and I'm a part of that. My first run with them was actually this past Saturday. We ran a 5K. It was okay. I ran the whole thing. Like you had to push. I didn't run full speed, but I ran, and then like I slowed my run down. But I kept moving. Like the biggest thing he was saying, just keep moving. And he was helping me focus on my breathing, and he was telling me like we chase the miles, we're not chasing the time. And I never looked at it like that. Like I always thought like you know what I mean, because you always want your time to be quick, and it's like because I see people run 4Ks and they run it in like 28 minutes, and I'm like, damn, it takes me 45. But I'm a bigger guy. I'm not a runner, but it's about really just doing the work. Like just do the work. I'll get it down to 40 or 42, and gradually my times will come down. But it's just about doing the miles, and yeah, I'm looking forward to our next run. I'm gonna make it a thing to try at least run 3 times a week. Run a 5K 3 times a week. It's just like training my body up. I signed up for a 5K for Labor Day. I signed up for that. I'm gonna do that, and yeah, running is like now becoming like the one thing that I hate, but I love to do. You know what I mean? Like I hate when I'm doing it, but I love it when it's over. Pause. I think. But yeah. Uh, what else was going on? So obviously my babies, my Gab, she graduated. She had a double graduation. She had her college graduation for her associates and her high school graduation. So, shout out to her. I'm extremely proud. Jordan had her move up day slash graduation from kindergarten. Of course, both their graduations, her high school and the kindergarten, was on the same day. Thank God it was like 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock. It was spaced out. I'm very proud of my kids, man, and especially Gabby. She's done something that is like unheard of. Like she's literally locked out. You know what I mean? Half of her college experience. You know what I mean? She really only has to go to school for another 2 years, which is great. She had a prom, which I was not there for. And we I may get into I'll probably get into that today. Is that kind of ties into boundaries and um yeah, that's what I'm gonna pick up at. And I'm gonna pick up on boundaries and really touch on like what me and her went through. And uh, I'm gonna say this before I get into this because I may get a little nasty, but I love all my children, man. I genuinely love all my children. I'm prepared to do whatever, and I will protect them with my life. But as my children become adults or think they're adults or think they're grown or they move into that space of adulthood, it's a different type of parenting, that you got to do now. You got to take a step back and you got to have boundaries. Um, and it's, you really got to set them because for me, the moment any of my children make me feel insignificant, um, or hit me with that, I'm grown, or you think you're an adult, and it's like, okay, all right, what I mean, I'll respect it, I'll take a step back. But the moment you tell me that, or you show me that you think you're an adult, you have to stand on it, and you have now there's a different lesson that's coming because um all of my children, for the most part, I'll say with the exception of my oldest, but all of them heavily rely on their parents. Whether it's a phone bill, whether it's Netflix and internet and all these things, or the fact that you live under our roofs because you guys don't pay rent. You know what I mean? Or your medical coverage. There's so much that goes into that, and these are the things that we do because we're parents and we love you. But there is no law that says we have to take care of any child after 18. You can be completely cut off and left to fend in the world. Like that is an option, and I think that all of us, especially in my group of friends, like all of us, our kids are to an extent sheltered, and they don't understand that, and they just think that like you're supposed to do these things. And it's like, no, I don't have to do these things. Um, so I guess I'll start with like the prom and like the things leading up to that. Uh, I mean, obviously, I was under the impression she was leaving here, and then she had to move. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave from my mom's house. And through the feeling I got through the conversation me and her had was that you and your mother had already discussed what you're doing, all the things that you guys are doing for your prom. Even though you've lived with me the last 4.5 years, but you guys made all these decisions. Okay, cool, no problem. So I immediately go into I'm stepping back then because if your mom is making plans for your prom, that means that she's paying for everything. That's my position because last year I made proms for your junior prom and I paid for everything. So if your mom, okay, yeah, go ahead. Then your mom needs to step up and do something for a change. Uh, I feel like the communication has been really off for months, like for a really long time. And again, it's just a multitude of things that led up to me just being like, I'm gonna completely step back. Even down to grades. I know I have an outstanding student. I know my child is extremely smart, but it was just, hey, where are your grades? Where are your grades? Man, I was asking all year. Um, Only reason I didn't really flip out is because I didn't get anything from a teacher saying otherwise. But it was just like, hey, where's your grades at? And you just refused to send grades. Okay. Part of the reason why I need to see your grades is because the year before you were slacking, and then the teachers reaching out to me telling me you're about to fail and you got to go to summer school. You're a really intelligent kid. You're just not turning the work in. You're not doing the work. Also, you're going to college. You want me to pay for college. How do I know that I can trust that my money that my money that I'm going to pay is going to be going to the right thing? Like you're going to do the work. You know what I mean? Are you going to, if you're struggling, are you going to reach out for help? Are you going to communicate? Because you showed me that you want. So, even like being home on time, you got to be home 10 o'clock, not 10:05, not 10:01, not 10:00 in 30 seconds, 10 o'clock. And, you know, For the most, like there was like two occasions here where she got in late, and she just always had like an excuse. Oh, the bus, this and that. Well, then you need to leave from where you're at an hour early. Like you have to be here. If you're watching your sisters for me, that was another thing. And I know you got to be to work by 1 o'clock. I know that I know to get here by 1 o'clock, I need to be leaving work by 12. I have to, so that I can be in front of the house by 12:45, so that you can leave out and head out to work at 1 o'clock. And even that, like she just started magically forgetting that she was supposed to watch them every other weekend. And again, it's hey, like that's something that we had in place. I need you to watch them so that I can go and provide for us, for our house, for our family. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be us before everybody else. But that slowly changed. I remember one day, like I got up for work and she wasn't here. It was like I had to call off for work, and it just became after that I just started swapping off because full disclosure, when I do work on weekends, the extra money that I was trying to make on the weekends was because I know I had a kid about to go to college, prom, all that stuff, these things that I want to do for your birthday. You have the 18th coming up and all that, and it's like, oh, okay, like I don't. I think there comes a point where like I don't have to remind you. Um, and then of course I get information elsewhere like that she just doesn't want to watch her siblings. Okay, no problem. That's not a problem. But you know what I mean? There's a consequence for everything, and not necessarily for that, but there's a consequence for every action that you do has a consequence because we're past the point of putting hands on our children when they're at that age. It's like I'm just gonna start to take stuff. I'm just gonna you have to start figuring things out. Like once again, back to once you think that you're an adult, you have okay, you got to stand on it and you got to live in it. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean that I won't protect you. Doesn't mean I don't have your back. It just means no, you. This is the space that we're in, and like this is the next life lesson that you're gonna learn. Uh, and then slowly but gradually, she started going to her mom's house more, which again I don't have a problem with my kids going anywhere, either parent, whatever. But she was going there because there's more freedom there. And that's just my opinion. There's more freedom there. Your mom's gonna let you come in whatever time you want. She's gonna let you go to hotel parties and do all these things because you want all this freedom. And my thing is, again, the difference between mothers and fathers is fathers all like we're protectors. We see things differently. I'm sorry, but mothers are not. You're not that in tune with being. Your awareness isn't what a man's will be when it comes to the protection and safety of children. It just isn't. I'll argue anyone down. It just isn't. We look at things very different. You guys are nurturers. You guys want to be more friendly. I don't give a fuck about being friends with my kids. I just don't. Uh, and then I just want to say, their mom is a piece of shit. I just want to get that out. Just gotta put that out there. She really is. Um, so yeah, just like being defiant and in my opinion, just being defiant and doing things the way that she wanted to do them. And it's like, okay. Because 2 weeks prior to prom, like when she tells me going to leave from my mom's house, oh, okay. No problem. And in my mind, not to her, but in my mind, I'm like, this is the same mother that threw you out the house at 8 a.m. on Mother's Day 2 years ago. It's the same mother that was embarrassed because you were gay. She was embarrassed in front of her church friends because you're gay. You know what I mean? And oh, that has changed. Now apparently Gabby likes boys. And my kids can like whoever we want to like, but I feel like that's more of her mom thing, like that she's doing that to please her mom. She's doing it because that's kind of the information I was getting. It's just like, oh, this is well, I'm my mom's first child that's going to college, or you're my first child that's going to college. What the fuck? Everything that you are for your mom, you are for me because we have the same fucking kids. But nevertheless, this is the same mother who hasn't done shit for about 4 or 5 years, and she put in my daughter's head like she pays child support. She paid that child support whenever she wanted to every 3 months, every 4 months, pay $100. Like it's not $150. Anyone that runs a household or has children knows that shit ain't. You can't put cheese on a waffle with that. Get the fuck out of here. Uh, and it's the same mother that tried to take your father's freedom. Same mother that wanted to abort you. You know what I mean? And it's just I voiced my opinion on it. I told her like I'm not going to your mother's house. Uh, we've had this conversation a zillion times. You live here, you live here. I'm not going over there. My family's not going over there. Being in my position on that is I don't care to put myself in situations where people can continuously and comfortably disrespect me and make comments and do ignorant shit. And because if you're not going to do that in my house, and I'm not going to do that to you in my house, that's just how I am. I don't like you. I don't fuck with you, but I'm not. I'm going to make sure you're comfortable because you're still the mother. But in your house, you're not going to return that favor. In fact, you're going to say little smart comments that's going to cause me to put hands on somebody, particularly your nigga. And I don't want to go there. I'm out of that space. So again, this is like where therapy is kicking in. It's just like I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. I'm not putting myself in a situation where I got to act out of character, where I got to be somebody I don't want to be. And I'm comfortable if I don't see you off. I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? I made peace with it. And I was just like, all right, no problem. Do what you want. And uh, I think the day of, my oldest brother hit me up like, hey, dad, da, 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 like, I'll see you later. And I was like, no. And then, of course, now Gabby's calling around trying to get Jordan's mom to bring Jordan. My kids, my children, Jordan and Emma, they're not going over there. Like, going around me doesn't work. I'm the head honcho. I am the fucking, I run this shit. I'm the end all be all. You know what I mean? I'm the fucking boss. So there is, yeah, no, they're not going over there because on top of that, you don't even like being around your siblings. Let's be honest. That's how you was acting. You acted like you didn't have time for them. When they wanted to be around you up under you, you act like it was a problem. You didn't want to watch them. And that watching them is completely separate from this. But everything else, no, is very. These are things that I'm seeing with my eyes. They come in, they see you. Hey, they're excited to see their big sister, and you're just like, hey, you act like you just like life is so. You're 17, like life. These, you know what I mean. These are the, and I would always. I tell this to all my kids that when you guys get older, and these little girls get older, you're gonna want to have formed some type of relationship with them because the worst thing to happen is you get older and you need them. Or let's say you get older and like they are living this great life and they have a family and a husband and all these things, and now you'll be around that and they just like you're like the distant sister that they don't fuck with. So, but I'm that part for the older kids. I'm done teaching, and now I'm just more locked in on the two little ones. Like that's where all my attention is going to, all my energy, all my focus, because I mean, they're going to get older and they're probably going to do things I don't like, and we're not going to agree on some things. But it's just hopefully it's not like huge and nothing that, um, you know, we have big fallouts for. So a few days go past, and I get a text about a budget for a dress, and I'm like, "Ask your mother because you guys have made all these plans. That's for your mother. Like that was your yeah. I don't you don't get a dime out of me. You think I'm about to pay for something at your mom's house? It's not going to happen. Your mom didn't pay for shit last year over here. Nothing. She didn't pay for shit. Period. And I'm not a bank, and that's another boundary that I had to set. Remember, I had to set that a couple months back last year with my oldest daughter, and we're in a great space now. We talk every other day. I love it. I love all my kids to death, but it was just a boundary had to be set, and she gets it. She understands it. She's like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a bank. I can't. I won't just be a bank. That's not what I am. I have feelings too. I have things that matter to me. And again, I was put in a position to feel like I didn't matter. Like me and my family didn't matter. And it's like, okay, then don't ask my family for gifts. Don't accept anything from this side of the family. I genuinely mean it. And you can't go against me and not do the things you're supposed to do, and then expect rewards. Still expect me to pay for anything. And again, you're grown. It's time to figure it out. It's just weird. That's where I'm at with it. It's time to figure it out. And where it stands now, in my opinion, she's kind of in her feelings. I seen her a couple weeks ago. I was picking up my other daughter, and she comes out and she's just like, "Hey," like one or two words, graduation, one or two words, um, and it was just like I was just like, oh, okay. And honestly, where it stands now is we there's really nothing to say until she apologizes, and unfortunately for her, she never apologizes, and I would imagine that we've really spoken for the last time, and I'm comfortable with that. And I know someone's gonna say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's your daughter. Shut up. Kill yourself. Don't fucking tell me how to handle my children." Because one thing my kids know about me, they know their father. They know when I say something, I mean it. I'm not a man that likes to repeat himself. I'm not gonna say it twice. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you're either gonna do it or you're gonna make it make sense, and we're gonna keep it moving. I've spent my entire life busting my ass to provide a good life for these children, all my children. I did and do my job. You know what I mean? And I feel like kids. I mean, I think we all can relate. Like kids at some point in their lives, they can be ungrateful. They really can. They forget. And I really felt that way. We had me and her had a conversation about our Sweet 16, and it's not even what you say; it's about how you say it. We were having a conversation going back and forth, and she's like, "Oh, I'll give you credit for my Sweet 16," and I took that like, "I'll give me credit, like, bitch, what you mean? I spent thousands on thousands of dollars for an event that your mom did not help with, did not want to help with, did not want to be a part of. She was too busy, even leading up, too busy to get on a FaceTime call for you to look at a dress, much less go shopping with you for a dress. I was paying for the dress, but much less to go shopping for a dress with you. Yeah, she the day of the Sweet 16, she was ready to haul ass out of there because it's Father's Day and I'm taking my son dad down to AC. Or no, we're going down to AC for the weekend. It's Friday night. Like what? Like your daughter's Sweet 16 has you knew this was the day. Whatever y'all doing, you could have planned for next weekend. Like and it's just again, sometimes my kids are so stupid and they don't see like how do you not see that? How do you not see that she's not prioritizing the kids, not just you, just the kids in general over um, everything else, a relationship, anything like that. Nothing is going to trump my kids. Nothing. If I get married, I have a wife, the things like that. But my kids, especially the underage ones, did nothing is going to trump them. You know what I mean? And there's nothing. I don't. There's not a vow. There's not anything that's gonna. Whoever I marry is gonna understand it. And if she has kids, like yeah, your kids, like these are your children. You know what I mean? Um, but that's neither here nor there. And honestly, the icing on the cake for me with her, for real, was I didn't get a card for Father's Day. Forget my birthday. I didn't get a card for birthday, but that's not a big deal because my birthday was here before you were here. I celebrate Father's Day because of you, because of my children, and not even about a gift. It's about you could get your dad a card. I didn't even get a text. Talk to all my kids. Even if she the text, hey, happy Father's Day, I called because Kanai called, Janae called, talked to Emma. Emma was with me, and obviously Jordan is with me. Um, to not even acknowledge me is like, oh, okay. Like you're so now I feel like, you're trying to hurt me, but you can't hurt me the way that I can hurt you. You get what I'm saying? Like uh, there's five of y'all. You get what I'm saying? There's one of me. You understand? And I hate to sound so arrogant when I say that, but yeah, like if you never speak to me again, I have four other kids. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I don't love her, anything like that. And obviously, I hope and pray that we find and we land in a good space. But I'm not. There's no kids ass that I'm kissing. Not anybody that I gave life to. Not anybody that I've worked and overworked myself for it. Oh, to provide. Nah. And that's my position now. Is just, I'm not so willing to go above and beyond for any child because there's going to come a point where they're just going to be ungrateful and they're not going to understand, or they choose not to understand. And on top of that, I spoke to my therapist about all this shit, and she didn't. She told everything that I was doing. She was like, "No, like, because again, for her, it's just about setting boundaries. Like, no, you know what? That doesn't make you feel good. Don't do it. Like, you have to set boundaries. You know what I mean? But she did say her biggest thing was like, if you don't go to the prom, like you could risk losing her. And I was like, I'm comfortable with that, like because my position and my boundaries are way more important than anything else because I feel like that's how I always got in a bad space by doing things that I just didn't want to do, like continuously, and for kids, continuously doing shit that I just didn't want to do, and I'm just not doing it anymore. If I don't want to fucking do it, I'm not doing it. Um, and uh, Judy, my third, she pointed out something else too. She said when an inconsistent parent shows up, the consistent one takes the back seat, and I felt that. I really did. But otherwise, the summer has been great. It's been going great. Pretty much at the end of July right now. It's been hot as shit. I think it's gonna be hot as shit today. Uh, I had the family over. Had a little cookout July 4th. I think it was like July 5th, so a couple weeks back, maybe like 2, 3 weeks ago. Had them over. It was a good time as always. Thinking about doing another one. I think August 31st. I'm thinking. I don't know. I feel like I ain't gonna lie. That last one kind of like it kind of burnt me out. Not when I burnt. It's just events at your house be a lot. Uh, Mainly these moon bounces, bring these things back in the house, trying to fold them up and do it. Like I really, yeah, it's just I don't. Yeah, it's a lot. I need to. I could tell you, I gotta get a partner. I gotta get a wife or something. Like I need. Yeah, it's a lot, and I never ask for help. You know what I mean? If like people ask, oh, bring something, I'll be telling them ice. But I'm probably gonna start. Some people bring stuff, bring chips, bring juice, bring some salt. Like it'll just make it a little easier. But I'm thinking August 31st. I'm thinking I may do one more. That'll just be my two for the summer, and that'll be it. But it was really a good time. I love being around my family, man. I really do. It's always good vibes. It's always a good time. Um, I was hanging with my friends actually a couple weeks ago for Mary's birthday, and like I ain't gonna lie, for the first like when I went there and I had such a good time. I had to cut it short because I had to go to work. But it's just like I felt like that at that moment I needed to be around my friends, and it was just a really good time. We was obviously drinking, eating, just catching up, and again, like for me right now, it's just really just being around as much positivity as possible. Um, which is why I'm just like I'm meeting new people. I'm open to like new friendships and all that stuff. And yeah, I got some other stuff. I'm not even gonna, I ain't gonna talk about that today. I got some other shit that happened. I'll probably cover next week because I'm running a little long today. But yeah, it's it's been a good summer. I'm just everything is going good. And again, I can't emphasize that like I really am in just a good place mentally, and I've never been in like such a like just calm. Like I'm not nothing is bothering me. I'm not allowing anything to bother me, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna continue to do it because that's what fucking makes me happy. So I guess my message of the day would just be protect your peace and guard your boundaries. Like that's really it. My plug is gonna be Docinco Project. My guy Docinco. You can get him on Instagram. X Docinco Project. That's his podcast page. His podcast is X Docinco on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. It's a great podcast, y'all. He's really a natural born motivator. Like I told you, I'm part of his run club. I did the first 5K with him this past Saturday. But his podcast is really about like it's just all positivity. It's about motivating you and just it'll really it'll really I ain't gonna lie, it'll really make you want to get up off your ass and just do something because that's how I felt when I was listening to it. I remember I was because I was gonna stop at 2 miles and like literally as I hit the second mile, he was just like yeah, like he started talking about something about just getting up and just pushing through, just doing it, and I was just like it really just motivated me and yeah, that's why now every time I run, I just run 3 miles. I don't run less than 3 miles, which normally turns into a 5K. I normally be doing 3.1, 3.2, and gradually I'll work my way up to 4 miles. Like that's or three and a half, four. Like I'm chasing the miles. Like I'm just chasing the miles. I don't care about the time. I'm chasing the miles, and that's really a good way. It's the best cardio, man. It really is. A quick story about him. So I remember reaching out to him because I remember like the episode I was talking about. He talked about gatekeeping, and it really hit home for me because I actually had reached out to him about like the equipment that he uses for a podcast, the cameras and all that stuff. I ended up buying the cameras, but I don't use them. I honestly don't. I know about the program. He showed me everything I had to do, but the way I record now, audio and visual, I prefer. Like it's, I'll probably eventually, maybe I will switch over to video at some point, but for now, this is what we're. But again, when I asked him, he got back to me immediately. He told me what I needed, what he used, how to use it, the programs, and obviously it was up to me to research it and figure out if that's what worked for me. But again, like gatekeeper, he didn't have a problem sharing the information. You know what I mean? And the same thing with Mel. Like I used the Rodecaster and a record, and Mel put me onto the Rodecaster. I was like, Mel, what you record your pod? What do you use to record your podcast? She said, "I'll use a Rodecaster." She literally sent me a picture of it. Da, 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 da. And I looked it up. I researched it and was like, all right, and that's what I have now. A Rodecaster Pro 2 is probably the best piece of podcast equipment. I don't think there's anything better than this. It's very simple, and yeah. So I actually need to I need to get both of them on the podcast. What I really want to do is I got to make a list. That's what I'm gonna do for this season. I'm gonna make a list of people that I want to interview or have on, famous people or people I don't know, and I'm really gonna try to knock that list off. I'll make a list, maybe I don't know how many people. I'm just gonna write it. I ain't gonna set a number. I'm just gonna write it, and yeah, famous and local people I have a relationship with, and just try to get everybody I possibly can get on, and yeah, that's all I got for y'all today, man. I hope everybody's been doing good. I hope everybody is in just a great mental space, and it's ran longer than what I wanted to. I'm gonna start trying to cut my episodes down to probably like 30 minutes. But yeah, as usual, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. And until next time, peace.